What's up, everybody? This is JDog6156, or better known as Politics with JDog6156. And today we're going to be doing a video about the states I think Democrats could do the best in. And I also plan on doing another video of the states I think Republicans can do best in. Now, just so you know, I got my information from Jackson Jude, and I went based off trends, specifically between 2012 and 2020. Just a keynote, this is in my opinion. So, yeah. Also, just to make sure I put it out there, this is not an election prediction. And we're just basically doing the generic Democrat versus the generic Republican. So, yeah, this is not exactly an election prediction. This is just to see, like, which party has much more power in what state. So, anyway, let's head from west to east. So, in Alaska, Alaska could go lean. I mean, I don't see Democrats flipping the state, but I do see Alaska becoming more and more competitive as years go on. I'ma just flat out say it that Hawaii, California, Oregon, and Washington would all be safe for Democrats. I mean, it's just that Biden won solidly in the states. Oh, I just said that this isn't a person versus person, but the generic Democrat would do best in these states. Also, I forgot to also mention that this is basically a this is what was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm kind of forgetting myself. Okay, so this is basically if it was a blue tsunami type election. So this would be the Democrats like best out of all. So just to lay that out. Next, we would see Nevada go likely. Nevada went likely in 2012. And despite its shift to the right, I do think that if it was a blue tsunami type election, then we would see Nevada go likely by at least, I say, between 5 to 7 points. Same amount as in like 2008 or 2012. Next, we would see Arizona go lean by around like 3 to 4 points. We would also see Colorado and New Mexico become safe. I think they both voted for Biden by like double digits. So, yeah, they would be safe. Next, we have Utah. Utah would actually be likely. It's because, like, Utah, like, its trend to the left really only started because of, like, Trump being on the ballot. Utah used to vote for Republicans by, like, 30. Now it votes for them by, like, 20. I bet if like I know I said that this isn't a candidate versus candidate election, it's just generic. But like if Republicans run more of a traditional candidate, then maybe Utah would be safe. But I'm going based off current trends, no matter who is the candidate. So yeah, Utah is going to be likely. Idaho and Wyoming are going to be safe. However, Idaho will be much closer than Wyoming. Montana is going to be likely. Montana is Out of all the plain states, Montana tends to be the one that is more welcoming to electing Democrats both on the state level and on the gubernatorial level, but not in the federal level. However, if like all third parties went to Biden in 2020, then Montana would be likely. But anyway, let's continue. North Dakota would be safe, but however, South Dakota would be likely. South Dakota, I mean, it voted for Trump by like 25. South Dakota tends to be like more Democrat friendly than North Dakota. Like I know North Dakota had like a Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp, but like South Dakota, looking at the gubernatorial election and looking at many of their general elections, Democrats have been known to like at least get above 35 to almost 40%. And if you really think about it, South Dakota was competitive not that long ago, not even like 20 years ago. So there could still be some of that Democratic energy in the state. Firstly, Nebraska's third district is going to remain safe. However, Nebraska's at large and first district are going to remain likely, while Nebraska's second is going to remain likely as well. Not much changing except for Nebraska at large being likely instead of safe. Oh yeah, if you hear noises, I'm on a swing set and I'm outside, so yeah, just ignore that. Anyway, Kansas is going to be likely. However, it's going to be around the same margin of South Carolina. I was pretty surprised to see that Kansas was likely in 2020, given the fact it's a part of like the red wall that stretches from North Dakota to Texas, of the solid conservative states. I mean, Kansas is still solidly conservative, but like, I mean, it's kind of like Montana in its case. Like, it could go Democratic if it wants to, but unfortunately, Democrats just don't have the energy in that state to flip it. So, yeah, there's that. Oklahoma, I still see it being safe Republican, no matter if it was a blue tsunami or not. Oklahoma's too rural, too like traditional. I see Democrats at least flipping a county, specifically in one around Oklahoma City. However, other than that, not really much of a change. Texas, I'm going to put it as lean, but by like 1.1. Texas is shown that, like, Texas has shifted left since 2016. First, Clinton cut the margins that Romney had in half. Then Biden took around, like, say about 4%. And Trump only won the state by 5.9, meaning that if the election shifted at least 6 points, Biden would have won the state by a tilt margin. So Texas was not exactly close, but it was definitely for a close call for Republicans. Um, oh crap! I'm about to call this state Mississippi. Minnesota will be safe. Iowa's gonna go lean because Iowa has this trend to the right. However, since this is a blue tsunami, like many Democrats, like Iowa used to be like a Democratic stronghold. Like, sure, it would have elected Republicans in the past, but Iowa has always been known as like the rural area that Democrats would rely on farmer voters and everything. But now it's just basically Republican territory now. But seeing like Iowa could go to Democrats in this scenario by at least like 2% at most. Next, we have Missouri. Missouri is likely because like Missouri voted for Trump by around like 16%. So just 2 points off. And plus, if you give all third party voters to Biden, then you get a likely Missouri. However, I don't see Missouri going any further than at least like 11% at most. Arkansas would be safe. It's continued its trend to the right since the 90s, so not exactly a big surprise there. Louisiana would be likely. Louisiana, believe it or not, is more likely to go likely than its neighbors, except for Mississippi. Mississippi, I'll also put as likely. These two states, they won't flip, but like with high black population, let's say that the black turnout is bolstered. Let's say Democrats do well with like almost every race group in every category. That would be enough to make these two at least likely again. However, as for Alabama, they wouldn't crack that much. Alabama would be like the closest safe state possibly, where it could go safe by at least like by 16 points. So maybe that's a possibility. Tennessee is also going to be put as I'm gonna put it as like I'm gonna put it as likely. Same with would be for Kentucky. I think Kentucky voted for Biden by like 36, and Biden was leading in there. I mean, I know that's not exactly relevant, but still, that's still good for a Dem. to be leading in a conservative, really conservative state for a long period of time. Next, we have Illinois. Illinois is going to be safe, and Wisconsin's going to be likely, along with Michigan and Pennsylvania. Next, we have Ohio. Ohio is going to be the same as Iowa. Both of the states tend to vote the same nowadays in modern politics. I mean, Iowa voted for Trump by 8.1. Ohio voted for Trump by 8.0. So, yeah, they basically vote the same. Indiana, you may expect it to be lean, but I'm going to put it as likely by at least like 5 points. Indiana is like one of those exception states where like they'll vote for they're a strong conservative state. That strong conservative state that voted Democratic once. And since this is a blue tsunami election, you may think that Democrats would carry it. I personally don't think so due to like all the partisanship and everything. So I doubt that Democrats could carry the state, but it's still pretty much of a that I don't see it flipping. Okay, so before I get the rest of the southern states down, I'm gonna just go ahead and save us all the trouble of these states right here. Uh, Hold up, there we go. All these states down here, and it might be a stretch, but I'll also include New Hampshire, all but one. I'm actually gonna make Nebraska second district at least. Um, yeah, I'm gonna make it likely because Nebraska's second district, like it's more of a populist loving state due to it being more rural and liking more anti-establishment type candidates. But since this is like a generic Republican versus a generic Democrat, then I doubt that that could keep that one red. So yeah, there's that. And now we finish off with the last 6 states. West Virginia is going to stay safe, but I see like 2 counties in the state flipping. One where Charleston is, and one in this northeastern corner that borders Pennsylvania. I forgot. It's called Mahoning County, I think. That's possibly what it's called. Virginia is going to be safe. North Carolina, I see it going as lean. South Carolina, lean as well, but for Republicans. Surprisingly, despite many people calling South Carolina a ruby red state and it being a safe state, it is a safe state for the Republicans. However, it's more likely because of the high black population and the fact how Democrats are doing better in suburban areas along Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and all the other areas. Next we have, Florida is actually going to be tilt. Surprisingly, that I made Florida vote to the right of Iowa. So that's a huge surprise there. You would usually expect like Florida to vote to the left of Iowa. And finally, Georgia, we're going to put that as likely. So here we have the Democrats' best, like, this would be the generic Democrats' like best election ever. Blue tsunami. And again, this isn't an election prediction. This is just me like putting a video out there. You should be expecting the best a Republican can do video sometime tomorrow or sometime this week, depending on how my schedule goes. But anyway, here's a map, and this is Politics with JDog6156 signing out.